For me, the standout was absolutely Oxtail. But past Oxtail, the standout is Unc.
We could not get to Unc. Security said it was over with for the day. We had $4,000 in cash that we was gonna give him a hand. They didn't take it, so we're gonna take this money and feed some people.
When he came to me, he said, hey, I got this amount of money I want to give to Unc. When I saw that, I was like, oh man, he's just like 8,000 people that comes in here want to talk to Unc.
Not with money though.
I told him what they was doing, and I don't know how long he's going to be. If you guys want to wait, you can. You know, I'm not trying to be mean or nothing, but he's doing something right now.
To offer a tip to a business owner was crazy. He really thinks Walt is like this helpless guy who needs his help. How are you going to tip a business owner? Tip the whole staff.
So owners can't take tips now?
There are a total of 4 trademark applications pending for the word Tenderism, and unfortunately, Mr. Tenderism is not an applicant. The public has discovered Kenneth L. Harris has filed a trademark. Kenneth is not the only one who has filed a trademark. We have a whole separate person who has filed for a trademark, and guess who that is?
Who is that?
Diamond Smokehouse. Diamond Smokehouse, who filed the trademark for Tenderism, is owned by Nicholas, who also owns Destination Smokehouse. Mr. Tenderism, he's not listed on any of the formal paperwork. Mr. Tenderism is an independent contractor. The way that Mr. Tenderism can protect his brand, he needs to copyright and trademark his likeness.
Now, I'm no lawyer, but I feel like you should be able to sue at that point. If they're trying to trademark this and you don't have no ownership in that company and they're claiming it under their company, he should be able to sue them for that.
Everything is gravy, yeah, we living good. Played the streets for a minute, now I'm out the hood. This that Pimp C flow, diamonds against that wood. I'm dedicated to this grid and I won't never budge.
Destination Smokehouse drama has gotten worse.
Is that
this
right?
new update is proven there's something very scandalous and shady going on behind the old man's back.
What's that?
In our last video, we discussed how Keith Lee went to Destination Smokehouse to do a food review. At the end of the food review, he tried to link up with this old man from the viral videos. However, he couldn't meet up with the old man. Keith Lee documented himself going to the bank, pulling out a couple of $1,000s, then going back to the restaurant to give it to the old man, Walter. However, he was turned away, and he documented the entire thing. And this interaction at the end of the Keith Lee video brought a lot of hate and backlash to this restaurant.
8 out of 10. For me, the standout was absolutely Oxtail. But past Oxtail, the standout is Unc. Not only, in my opinion, is it extremely hard to get people engaged like that, to show your true personality, to be yourself, no matter how fast things take off in the space. I don't think he intended for it to go the way it's going. I think he just wants to show his love of food and his love of what it is that he's doing. I'm personally taking $5,000 out of my own bank, and we going to say happy holidays to Unc.
So, update. We could not get to Unc. Security said it was over with for the day. They said that he was filming something. I believe he was filming a podcast. We had $5,000 in cash, or $4,000 in cash that we was going to give him a hand. They didn't take it, so we're not only going to take this money and feed some people, but we just going to do what we feel like we're supposed to do in the community.
And as always, after this, I pray and hope that they continue to reach their target audience. God bless you. Have an amazing day. Y'all be safe.
Obviously, Keith Lee fans were upset that Keith Lee never got to meet the old man. They thought the restaurant was not hospitable to Keith Lee. So that was one set of the backlash. The other set of the backlash came from people who found out for the first time through this Keith Lee video this restaurant was not Black-owned. That led to think pieces on social media.
Finding out that Tenderism destination was not Black-owned was not on my bingo card in 2025. Especially people that talk about, well, me, as somebody that talks about generational trauma and reparations. For everybody saying, I don't see the problem with it. The fact that this man was able to grow a business is exactly what slaves did in this country. We picked cotton, we made the US billions, and then they gave us our freedom, and now we're still...
Man, he was working a job, bro. And that was part of the job. And apparently he's not an employee, is what the owner said.
Fighting for reparations in 2025, while every other nationality that has ever been wronged in this country has pretty much received some type of reparation.
In my original video, I completely dismissed what she was saying. I called it nonsense, hogwash. Like, like Jared Fogle isn't owed ownership because Jared Fogle did a masterful commercial for Subway. Jake from State Farm isn't owed ownership from State Farm. When you do a successful commercial and become a face of a brand, you aren't really owed ownership of that particular brand. That's was true. My mindset. Now, ever since I found out a little bit more, I found out.
But I thought these was Unc's recipes and he was cooking though.
The recipe that they're using and the ingredients is actually Walter's recipe.
Yeah.
For all the smokehouses. So if it's his recipe, I think ownership is deserved. They even came out and said they gave Walter ownership. But some more information has came out ever since, and I must say, man, I gotta stop jumping to conclusions because something very shady is going on here.
Is
I
that
want to
right?
say I owe a humble apology to all the people in the comment section who I call lunatics and unemployed weirdos who was brave enough to say something that's going on here is making me uncomfortable. And my discernment is telling me that something is up. And I don't know what, but I just feel uncomfortable. I was wrong for saying y'all are crazy because the new information that has surfaced, y'all are 100% right to feel uneasy because I felt uneasy after learning this new information.
What's that?
So in their response to Keith Lee, the restaurant and Walter and like everybody came out and said the Walter is an owner, that he's the owner of the restaurant. Keith Lee don't need to feel sorry for him. He don't need $4,000. He's an owner. He got big money. They was gassing up Walter and said, yo, you are an owner of the restaurant. So I felt good for the old man.
They might not have said he was an owner, but I remember what the owner said in that clip, at least, when Walter was saying he not going to disclose all that information. That ain't nobody business. And I understand that. He said that he wasn't an employee. You know what I'm saying? The owner said he wasn't an employee. Now, you know what I'm saying? He may be like, this may be like a contractual thing, you know what I'm saying? Where he's got the recipes and they paying it and they giving him a percentage or whatever. I guess you about to tell us though, you know. But he said in that clip that he wasn't an employee. So my perspective of this is that he owns the recipes. He's the face. Although he doesn't own the actual restaurant, he doesn't have ownership in that. They're probably breaking him off some money, but we gonna see.
But the new information to come out would actually say the contrary.
So that's basically what I was doing.
He didn't tell you who he was.
He didn't tell me who he was at
Yeah,
first.
this clip
he didn't
right
tell
here.
me. So when he walked up, he told
Well, nah, I didn't see this nigga here.
Gio.
And Gio didn't know.
And Gio
Which
didn't
is
know.
hilarious,
Right.
too.
When he came to me, he said, hey, I got this amount of money. I'm not going to disclose it. He said, I got this amount of money I want to give to to ask a couple of questions. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, man, he's just like 8,000 people that comes in here and want to talk to Hey, bro, they busy right now.
Not with money, though.
Doing something. I told them what they was doing. And, at first it was a little pushy about it. I was like, look, I don't know how long he's going to be. If you guys want to wait, you can. But, I'm not trying to be mean or nothing, but he's doing something right now, bro. I'm not going to go get him for a couple of questions.
Oh, so you gave Keith the opportunity, the option to wait, and he decided to leave?
Yeah, because I told him, I said, I don't know how long he's going to be, but if you want to wait, you can. That's fine.
Oh, okay, I get it.
There were some circumstances that happened after the fact with other people that he talked to that opened our eyes up to why he probably felt the way that he did. Even the way that he approached it, he didn't ask for anybody else. There's a lot of people visible on social media. To offer a tip to a business owner was crazy. That was the other thing too.
He called him a business owner.
He really thinks Walt is like this helpless guy who needs his help. How are you going to tip a business owner? Tip the whole staff.
How you going to tip the owner? Tip the whole staff. So
owners can't take tips now?
Right, there was confirmation that Walter is owner of the Destination Smokehouse. Well, an attorney did her research, and what she found out is Walter may be getting exploited and taken advantage of on the business side of things.
Is that right?
He don't got his ducks in a row.
Mr. Tenderism is in
a TikTok attorney.
Trouble. There are a total of 4 trademark applications pending for the word tenderism, and unfortunately, Mr. Tenderism is not an applicant on any of those applications.
Okay,
that's a major red flag, and something really wrong with that picture. Mr. Tenderism is literally his name and his catchphrase. So if you don't have an application in to own a trademark, but people around you do, that's a major problem. That's like
so they're the ones who got the trademark, huh?
The major issue.
That's tough.
And a red flag that you should probably check. Because if people around you really love you, then they would help you.
I was thinking maybe those was already out there, you know what I'm saying? Not related to them, but guess
you
not.
Apply. They won't be applying to own it for themselves.
Now, I'm Attorney Candace. Let's talk about what we can do to help save Mr. Tenderism's brand so he doesn't end up like Auntie Mama. Remember Auntie Mama on the syrup? She never got credit. Now, just as a recap for
Jemima.
people who may not know Mr. Tenderism, he got his fame here on TikTok after doing videos showing his barbecue falling right off the bone, and he would say the word Tenderism. All right, check it out.
I'm telling y'all about tenderness.
This nigga funny,
now,
man.
social media has recently been in an uproar because the public has discovered Kenneth L. Harris has filed a trademark for the word tenderism.
He's a black attorney. He has nothing to do with Walter. He has nothing to do with tenderism. Yet he has a trademark out. Now, I don't know if he gave a statement or if people are
He's an attorney. Kenneth is the attorney?
just making this up. But what's going around
Hold on, what?
He has nothing to
Kenneth L. Harris has filed a trademark for the word tenderism.
He's a black attorney. He has nothing to do with Walter. He has nothing to do with tenderism. Yet he has a trademark out. Now, I don't know if he gave a statement or if people are just making this up. But what's going around is people are saying that he has stated that he filed the trademark so he could hold it for Walter, which I'm like, yeah,
is that right?
Right? Like, put that next to the bridge you're trying to sell us. All right. But yeah, he has nothing to do with Destination Smokehouse. He's just an independent attorney who filed for this trademark.
And so the public is feeling like, hey, someone's trying to steal Mr. Tenderism's brand. Now, Mr. Harris did make a statement on TikTok basically saying he's a black man. He wasn't trying to steal tenderism, but he knew or he feared that other people would try to steal it. So he trademarked it first. He's an attorney. Mr. Kenneth Harris is an attorney. He trademarked it first. He's been trying to get in contact with Mr. Tenderism to transfer over ownership to him, but he's been unsuccessful. Now, the other thing is, when I did my little deep dive in Google research,
who does that?
Kenneth is not the only one who has filed a trademark. Now, Mr. Harris filed his trademark for the word tenderism in 2 different classes. He filed that as early as November 16th, 2025. But subsequently, we have a whole separate person who has filed for a trademark. And guess who that is?
Who is that, huh?
Now, we've all heard of the restaurant Destination Smokehouse.
Mm-hmm.
But when you check the trademark records, there's a separate company called Diamond Smokehouse who filed subsequent trademarks after attorney Kenneth Harris.
Now, follow this. White folks are brilliant, bruh. So, Walter is now going around thinking he's an owner of Destination Smokehouse, right? He has some ownership in Destination Smokehouse. However, the trademark was filed under another corporation called Diamond Smokehouse, which we would assume Walter has no ownership in because Walter isn't listed.
Just because you own the trademark doesn't mean you own the business
on any of the paperwork. What a lot of folks believe is they are letting Walter know, bro, you are an owner. You know, this is your business too, under Destination Smokehouse. And they probably did that so Walter won't see any red flags when they go ahead and proceed to apply to own the trademark of Walter's name and his catchphrase, because Walter probably is under the assumption the trademark is being owned by the business that I have ownership in, not knowing that trademark.
How are y'all gonna prove that he doesn't have ownership in the business though, bro? What documentations are y'all going to prove that? You know what I'm saying?
Was filed for another corporation that you have no stake in whatsoever.
And so inquiring minds are probably thinking, well, who is Diamond Smokehouse? Because the white boy we see on TikTok with Mr. Walt, Mr. Tenderism, his company is called Destination Smokehouse. But you know, we do thorough research around here. So let's figure out who owns Diamond Smokehouse.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I did my research on the California Secretary of State site, when you search Diamond Smokehouse, the owner, as you can see below, is Nicholas Yapriman. Okay. Now let's go search for Destination Smokehouse and see, is it the same owner? All right. So when you pull the formal paperwork for Destination Smokehouse, you can see the name at the top. In the section that says officer, you see the same name, Nicholas Yapriman. So we conclude that Diamond Smokehouse, who filed the trademark for Tenderism, is owned by Nicholas, who also owns Destination Smokehouse. Now, there's some statements going around on social media that, hey, Mr. Tenderism actually is.
So she actually got paperwork. Statement of Information Corporation. Destination corporation name, Destination Smokehouse. Officer name. There's 2 names listed in there. They both have the same last name, Patricia and Nicholas.
Is owned by Nicholas, who also owns Destination Smokehouse.
Now, what is his name? Walter?
There's some statements going around on social media that, hey, Mr. Tenderism actually is a business owner with Nicholas, and he owns a portion of
on that paperwork, though. She proved it.
As we can see from the official paperwork, that is not true. Walt, Mr. Tenderism, he's not listed on any of the formal paperwork. The only way he would have an ownership interest in the company is if they transferred ownership shares of the corporation to him. And it would have to be memorialized in writing, some type of contract. You would have to receive the shares, things like that. I'm willing to bet that has not happened. Now, the other thing that comes into play before we get to a resolution is this. The employee-employer relationship is always important when it comes to who owns the intellectual property. Typically, when you work for an employer as their employee, what you produce in your day-to-day duties as a part of your employment belongs to the corporation, the employer. Okay. However, if you are an independent contractor, the same is not so. Now, from what I've seen in these videos, from what my intuition is saying, there is no employee-employer relationship. It looks like Mr. Tenderism is an independent contractor.
Right.
And if that is the case, then Destination Smokehouse, Diamond Smokehouse, what are any of the Destination Smokehouse's affiliate
he's
companies,
not an owner.
They have no ownership in Mr. Tenderism's intellectual property. None at all. He's an independent contractor. All right. But obviously, we would need more facts and information to fully clarify that.
Wow, bruh. Now, worst case scenario here, I'm talking about worst case scenario. Walter owns nothing. Walter probably got like a revenue share. He got a percentage of the revenue. For example, a 20% revenue share is not the same as 20% ownership in a business.
Yeah.
Like, for example, if let's say, I don't know, I get like an editor, right? And I tell the editor, hey.
Well, he's probably getting percentage of whatever is sold, you know what I'm saying, with his recipes, you know?
I'll give you 20% of the business revenue. He has a 20% revenue share. Now, he might go around saying, man, I'm not no employee. I get a percentage of the revenue. Nah, I'm an owner. You're not an owner. You have percentage of the revenue. So I think Walter, probably not knowing any better, is getting revenue share and thinking he's the owner. When they look at the paperwork, no, buddy, like, you're nowhere to be, sorry, buddy, it's not that, okay? It's not that at all. Not only that, bro, them folks about to own your name, bro. You won't be able to call yourself Mr. Tenderism if you leave this corporation. Understand that, bro. Now, obviously, that's probably done to protect their business, right? Because if he takes Mr. Tenderism and the brand and the catchphrase and the everything, and he takes that brand to another.
Yeah, so basically, if he's an independent contractor, he came up with Tenderism, he could really sue their ass. He's not an employee. And he got that on video evidence. He's not an owner. You know what I'm saying? Got that in video evidence as well.
Smokehouse. Now, guess what? He's making that smokehouse bigger than right. So I could see why they're doing it that way. But man, I couldn't have been any more wrong.
So the way that Mr. Tenderism can protect his brand, regardless of the current trademarks that are filed for the word Tenderism, is he needs to copyright and trademark his likeness, okay? Just like we bought the Ain't She Mama syrup because the black woman was on there, a pretty wholesome looking black woman. It looked like she knew how to get down in the kitchen. The same way we bought that syrup because of her likeness being on the bottle, Mr. Tenderism could have the same effect. The only difference is we want Mr. Tenderism to own it, okay? So the way he would protect his likeness and his image is to find his favorite photo of himself, something similar to this, where he got the hat on and everything and the mustache and all the things that we know him for, and copyright it and trademark it, right? And this way, this will solidify his particular brand regardless of the word tenderism being going through a trademark fight right now. Because you know what? He could slap his photo of himself on any products and we would buy it, because now we know, okay, this is his.
If he came up with the term tenderism and he's an independent contractor, he should be able to sue him, I feel like. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm no lawyer, but I feel like you should be able to sue at that point. If they're trying to trademark that shit and you don't have no ownership in that company and they're claiming it under their company, you know what I'm saying? Then he should be able to sue them for that.
Of himself on any products and we would buy it, because
and take ownership of that trademark.
Now we know, okay, this is his product. This is him. Okay. He can slap his photo on a logo for his own restaurant, just like KFC, just like McDonald's. When we see KFC, when we see the old white man with the gray beard and all that, we know it's KFC. Okay. And he could do the same thing with his own restaurant. And that is how he would save his brand.
Right now where he's at, but you got a lot of business owners, a lot of venture capitalists. They are rubbing their hands like Birdman, looking for an opportunity to get in business with Mr. Tenderism and start his own restaurant. Like, he won't have to spend a dime of his own money. My only issue in the last video was you're telling this man to leave people who's been loyal and good to him. Well, now that it's coming out, they may not have been as loyal or good to him as we thought. It might be time to shake, man. All right, let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about this, man? And if you're still watching this video and you want to watch another good video, then click on.
Yeah, man, y'all let me know what y'all think about this, man. We on the road to 100K, okay? If you want to hit that like button, subscribe button, and turn on all notifications, slap the dog shit about yourself, because that's the first thing you should have did when you clicked on this video. I'll get at you on the next one, and I'm gone. TYP the name.
This shit is in me, it ain't on me, you can't scrub it off. I've been riding by my lonely on that paper walk. And watch you call your homies, cause they bound to talk. Yeah, I've been focused on my chicken.